YouTube, what's up? It's Jacob. Welcome to 911%, a channel dedicated to my first Porsche, this 1997 Carrera 4S. And on this channel, I bring you guys along on the many adventures I get up to with the car, everything from driving to checking out events, even a few technically oriented videos as well. So if that's something that interests you, hit that subscribe button and follow along on a weekly basis. Instagram. Today is the last driving day of 2017, and basically what that means is pure sadness because the car is going to be stored for the winter. But today I'm just doing some running around just to burn the rest of this fuel out of the tank that I've had for, I guess, the last like few weeks or whatever from the last drive, because I want to put in fresh gas for storage. It's also a beautifully sunny day, so perfect day to make a video. In follow-up to a video I posted a few weeks ago about the top 5 things I absolutely love about my Porsche 993, this video covers the 5 things I absolutely hate about my Porsche 993. And without further ado, let's get started. So number 1 is air-cooled values. I absolutely hate what's happened to my hobby with the Porsche because of these air-cooled values that skyrocketed in the last few years. I'm a Porsche enthusiast, you guys know this. I bought my car with the sole purpose to enjoy it because it's something that I always wanted. I bought my car 6 years ago. I bought it before the air-cooled boom, and it was before anybody really searched these cars out. They were dime a dozen. There were always a bunch available for sale in all different types of price points. When I bought this USA imported 4S, I paid a lot less for it than what somebody would today. Like a lot less. And despite the market cooling off as much as it has, specifically on these dime a dozen driver cars like this one, I still could probably double my money if I was to walk away today. Great news, right? Well, not exactly. This changed everything. This car now requires a different kind of insurance. I also never took it to the track. My initial intent was to take it to a few driver education kind of days, but that never actually happened. I was always worried about the insurance on the track and also about offing the car into a wall and totaling my pride and joy. I'm not saying it's not fun anymore. The car's turned more into a garage queen now, even though that was never my intent. You know, I do love pampering this car and, you know, storing it for the winter and really, you know, making sure that it's always maintained at its top level. But it's a completely different ownership experience than if we were to jump in a time machine and talk to me back in 2011. So number 2 is its slow vintage performance. I covered this in the other video, you know, the positive side of the whole thing. You know, this whole sentiment of driving a slow car fast versus a fast car slow. But this car does lack in power a little bit. It would be amazing if it had, you know, an extra 100 horsepower or so on tap like the 993 Turbo or the Roof Turbo R. And I'm not saying that I don't like the performance of this car. I just think that it, you know, it lacks. It's definitely vintage. It's just like it is vintage. The performance of this car is pretty vintage. So I wish I had a little bit extra oomph. I think I've just been spoiled. I've had a little bit of exposure to some newer Porsches in the recent months, and I think I'm just being spoiled with what a real sports car of today should feel like, and maybe, you know, the contrasts are so large that, you know, it's something that's jumping out. I've covered the positive of this, so I'm not complaining. I don't dislike this car's performance. I just wish it had a little bit more on tap. How's that? Yeah, number 2 is the vintage performance. So number 3 is my love-hate relationship with patina. Now what is patina? Patina is reasonable, charming in some cases, wear and tear on vintage cars that I guess would add to the character of the car, a unique history to the car, you know, whether that's stone chips or a dent or some, you know, some wear on leather, whatever it may be. It's different for everybody, and for me, you know, that fine line moves all the time, and some days I'm like, yeah, you know, that Swiss cheese front bumper, I'm cool with the stone chips. But most days, I'm just like, man, I wish I had a perfect classic car. I hate when people drive like shit, and this is a perfect example. You know, in some cases it's charming, but in some cases it's ugly and gross. At what point does a car feel trashed versus, you know, charming and old? And I feel like it's a love or hate, you know? Definitely, I wish this car was in better shape than it is. But on the flip side, it does have some charming characteristics that other cars wouldn't have, just because of, you know, the life it's had. So that's number 3. So number 4 goes to the fact that it seems like this car always has something going on with it mechanically. And it's not that it's broken all the time or it's an unreliable classic. No. Driving an old car plays tricks on your mind sometimes. And I don't think this is specifically reserved for Porsche ownership. I think anybody that owns a classic car experiences this regardless of marque. But as you're driving along, sometimes you'll find yourself bugging out to all the little noises and taps and vibrations and whirs and clicks that this car naturally makes, and you think to yourself, holy shit, what was that? Is something broken? Is everything okay? And that's stress that you don't really need when enjoying a car like this, but it happens. So that's number 4. It's always something. Alright guys, so number 5 goes to the shoddy and crappy design of valve guides and the valves in the 993 3.6 liter engines, 3.8 as well. There's 2 issues. There's this oil consumption issue, but then there's also a byproduct of that. Cars sold in markets where emissions are important, like Canada or the United States, were equipped with a secondary air injection system in the engine, and basically what that system did was it warms up the cats on startup. Also make sure that your O2 sensors are nicely warmed up to get proper readings. And what ends up happening with increased oil consumption on the 993s is that system gets actually clogged up and it doesn't perform the way it's supposed to perform, which makes you fail any type of smog test or emissions test. Basically, a top-end rebuild is required when you have an above normal level of oil consumption in the engine. A top-end rebuild will run you anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000. As obviously, you might pay more, you might pay less. Also, there's always that question of the variable price on the things while you're in there getting repaired. And it's definitely number 5 on the 5 things I absolutely hate about the 993, because it's such a stupid design issue that just, you know, is like a domino effect. It really affects a lot of things. An Achilles heel of the 993. So that covers the list. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video of the top 5 things I absolutely hate about my 993. Before I sign off, I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up. Tomorrow I'm flying out to Houston, Texas for the Tejas Treffpunk on November 18th, which I'm super excited about. It's a great air-cooled event put on by some great friends, so super stoked. And come out to say hi. I'm gonna post the ticket information in the description of my video, so if you're interested, all the information is there. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, and like.
and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Take care.